Okay. Do you have any idea? Well, I'm just gonna be blunt to you. Your child died from fentanyl poisoning.
So why did CYF tell me hypoxic cardiac arrest?
There weren't lab results then. So I'm going to explain this to you, okay? In that sippy cup was fentanyl. In her blood was fentanyl we just got these results back. It's the same type of fentanyl that people are overdosing every day in Pittsburgh and dying from. Same exact type. Okay. So I need to know how the fentanyl got in the sippy cup. Because right now it's not an accident. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
On April 5th, 2018, 4 days prior to Easter, police received a 911 call from a woman claiming her 17-month-old baby was turning blue in the face and unresponsive. Police would quickly rush to the residence, being the first to arrive on the scene. 26-year-old Jhenea Pratt would meet officers in front of her apartment building, leading them to her 17-month-old daughter, Charlotte Napper-Talley. When the officers entered the residence, they immediately were greeted to the smell of marijuana. Police noted Jhenea's calm disposition seemed entirely abnormal. The officers would enter Charlotte's bedroom, finding her unresponsive laying on her bed. A pink sippy cup containing red liquid was found inches from her body. Police then took Charlotte out of her baby crib and laid her on a coffee table to begin giving her CPR. In the process, the coffee table was damaged, to which officers noted Jhenea showing more emotions for a broken coffee table than her 1-year-old daughter. Since no signs of abuse or physical injuries were present on Charlotte, Jhenea was free to go while medical examiners evaluated the body. When lab results would return, high traces of fentanyl was found inside the sippy cup and inside Charlotte's blood. Fentanyl is a highly addictive analgesic classified as a synthetic opioid used to treat acute pain or control pain after surgery. It is also used in different countries to tranquilize large animals such as elephants, lions, and rhinos. To put into retrospect how much fentanyl was found inside Charlotte's sippy cup, the minimal lethal dose of fentanyl to an adult human being is 2,000 micrograms, which equates to 0.2 grams. Charlotte's sippy cup was found to have 20,000 micrograms, enough to kill 2 full-grown horses. With this newfound evidence, Charlotte's death went from natural cause to a homicide. Jhenea was taken into custody and questioned by detectives.
Where did she fall asleep? In her bedroom?
She came and got up on the couch with me.
Mm-hmm. You guys took a nap?
We barely fell asleep. By the time I was actually, dozing off, Miss Vernon was knocking at the door.
Okay.
The beginning of this interrogation, the detective on the left does most of the questioning, whilst keeping a curious but straightforward approach. Jhenea can be seen with the same calm demeanor as she casually smokes a cigarette. One can argue this display is a direct result of the stress the cigarette ultimately helps relieve. However, the analysis of Jhenea's psychological factor and verbal reciprocations doesn't resemble a person who just lost their 1-year-old child.
Did she eat or drink anything?
My boyfriend told me he made fish sticks and I want to say like French fries or something.
Okay. Now, that was earlier in the day when you guys got back. Did she eat or drink anything?
No, she didn't eat or drink anything. She had left he said she didn't want her sippy cup before they walked out the door to come and get me. So he left the sippy cup there.
Which sippy cup was that?
To my knowledge, it should have been The pink one?
The pink sippy cup?
Mm-hmm.
And where was that located?
I'm not even sure. I wasn't there.
Did he have that or did she have it?
It was left.
It was left there.
She didn't want it on the way out the door.
Okay. When you say on the way out the door, you mean?
When they left to come and get me from school.
Okay, when you came back, did she, that pink sippy cup, do you remember
I
where
didn't
it
even
was?
see the sippy cup.
Did you give her the sippy cup at all?
I didn't see the sippy cup.
Okay. Do you remember it being in her bedroom, that sippy cup?
I think I might have found the sippy cup on the way to, I'm not sure. I just remember, I believe, putting the sippy cup in her bed with her.
Okay. Did you put anything in the sippy cup?
No, there was a red liquid in it, and I know we had Huggies. around
Yeah, I
that
remember
time.
seeing some Huggies in there.
To be more specific, Happy Drink Huggies.
Is that what they're called?
Mhm.
Okay. Did you, when you were living, I'm just going to show you the picture. This is, is this the same sippy cup you're thinking of?
Mhm.
Now, did you have put liquid in there earlier in the day?
Yes.
You did?
Mhm.
Okay. Was that the same sippy cup that you put the liquid in? Was it before you went to school, when you got home from school, or?
I put a different juice drink in there, and she had a complete fit, and she didn't drink it.
Okay.
So how the red liquid got in, he changed her sippy cup when he fed her.
Okay.
He said she drank a little bit and threw it.
Okay. Out of that sippy cup.
Mhm.
Okay.
Detectives now have one foot in the door. Jhenea's boyfriend at the time, Albert Williams, was being accused of putting the synthetic opioid in the toddler's drink. If this was indeed true, due to the amount of fentanyl inside, Charlotte would have passed shortly after consuming the drink, thus overruling Albert's involvement.
When you lived at that address, did you get anything delivered in the mail from overseas?
I had just ordered her entire room from Walmart. I don't know if that came from overseas or not.
Well, Walmart wouldn't. I'm saying, like, did you order anything that maybe that might not have, that might have been out of the ordinary? Any type of anything from a different country?
No, my mother purchased the baby gate that was in her room.
Okay.
I believe she purchased that from Walmart also.
There would be no reason like you would get any packages, say, from China or from Japan or anything like that.
Like directly from them?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
The detective inquires further into any packages received from China, as fentanyl is primarily produced in Mexico and China. This could be a plausible explanation if the sippy cup or the Huggies drink were bought from one of the two countries.
Well, I'm just gonna be blunt to you. Your child died from fentanyl poisoning.
So why did CYF tell me hypoxic cardiac arrest?
There weren't lab results then.
The medical examiners that later arrived on scene reported the death similar to hypoxia cardiac arrest. This is a very uncommon physiological occurrence, especially at a standstill. This occurs when there's a significant absence of oxygen flowing to the brain. This causes terminal cerebral deterioration in under 15 minutes, which is often irreversible, but is not the case in this scenario.
So I'm going to explain this to you, okay? In that sippy cup was fentanyl. In her blood was fentanyl. We just got these results back. It's the same type of fentanyl that people are overdosing every day in Pittsburgh and dying from. Same exact type. Okay. So I need to know how the fentanyl got in the sippy cup. Because right now, it's not an accident. Okay? All right, so scientifically, it's impossible for your daughter to put fentanyl in a sippy cup. Okay? Physically, it's impossible for her to do. Scientifically, that's another story. But right now, that's how she died. It wasn't a heart attack. It wasn't any other reason other than she overdosed on fentanyl, which is the same fentanyl that people in the streets are dying on every single day. How'd the fentanyl get in the sippy cup, Jhenea?
Just straight fentanyl?
Yeah.
So what is it, like a liquid,
I'm not a scientist. It comes in a liquid form. It comes in a powder form. I'm not exactly sure. But what I am sure of is that fentanyl was put in a sippy cup and there was liquid mixed into it and it was given to Charlotte and that's how she died. So I need to know how that got in there.
I have no knowledge to how fentanyl got in my daughter's sippy cup.
Okay.
The lack of emotion and empathy shown from Jhenea would undoubtedly raise suspicion in the detective's mind. In reference, this is 33-year-old Kimberly Nelligan. She was arrested and accused of rubbing tainted heroin on her 1-year-old daughter's gums.
Okay, today, obviously, I'm a whole bunch of emotions. I just want everyone to know, first and foremost, the way I look on the media, I was not saying anything towards the media. It was towards a different person who's in the courtroom. But the biggest thing I want to get out there is that I never rubbed anything, any type of heroin, fentanyl, whatever, on my daughter's gums. Her father states that I did these things, this heinous crime, and he watched me do it. Then why didn't he stop it? I'm sorry to say this on the media, but if I did such a heinous crime when I got home from the hospital, I would have killed myself. There's no doubt about it, because who can actually live with themselves for doing something like that? Rubbing heroin on a child's gums isn't accidental. There's no accidental about that, okay? I never rubbed heroin on my daughter's gums. I'm paying for a lie detector test. I'm getting one done within the next week so people can see I'm not lying. I never did any of the above to my child. She was, and I saved her life 4 times too. And that's all on documentation that I saved her life. At Penobscot Pediatrics, she coded out. I'm the one that started CPR, not the nurse. The nurse ran out and got help before she started CPR on my child, who just coded out. She just was laying there fine and just stopped breathing. And I should have never let her father around her, and believe me, I regret that for the rest of my life. I will never forgive myself for that, ever. But I can promise the world that if I hurt her, I would have killed myself that night. I hate saying those words because I don't want, because ever think I'm gonna do that. But I would have killed myself because I could never live with myself if I did something like that. There's nothing, there's no anything, oh, I gave it to her because of pain, for what he's saying. There's no way I would give a child something like that for pain, okay? That is fentanyl, it would kill me, okay? Let alone a little tiny baby who's never had that unless when she was in the hospital. She did have fentanyl one time, dispensed by the hospital, obviously, because she had surgery.
Though the psychological thought process will vary from person to person, it's worth exhibiting and noting a more natural behavior in regards to such similar topics.
I mean, I have to figure out how this got in there, because your baby can't tell me. Is there a reason someone would want to do that? Is there a reason why fentanyl would be in a sippy cup?
No, there's not. And no, there's not a reason anybody would want to.
The amount of fentanyl that was in her system was extremely high. Okay, it was very high, and that's essentially when she drank the sippy cup. Whenever she picked that sippy cup off the bed, it was absorbed very quickly, and once she swallowed it, she didn't have much time to survive.
That's not possible because I didn't physically see her with her sippy cup, and we were at home. I was with her. I can't tell you the exact time frame, but when I got home, because I went to the welfare office a little bit as soon as I left school. There's no possible way.
Well, that sippy cup I showed you that picture of, that's the sippy cup that had it in it.
The detective implicates his theory by stating the sippy cup she gave her daughter had the fentanyl inside. This statement is followed with a pause, which is unsuccessful at getting Jhenea to divulge more.
Okay. I'm going to step out for a little bit. Let you think about this.
There's nothing to think about.
Okay, well, I need to step out anyway. All right.
The detective decides to step out momentarily, but changes his mind shortly after. He knows if Jhenea doesn't want to cooperate, she is free to leave at any time, halting any information they can gather. So, detectives uses their time wisely and proceed with further questions.
Well, it's my job to find out how this got in there. Okay, at this point. And like, right, this isn't going to go away. This investigation is not going away until I find out. Okay.
When you find out, you let me know.
I definitely will.
Any further questions?
I really want to know why your baby had that large amount of fentanyl in her.
I would too.
I mean, it was enough to kill a very large animal.
There's no way my daughter could have got into any type of fentanyl.
I agree with you. I agree. I think someone, just like a bartender, mixes up a drink, put it in that sippy cup. It's the only possible way it could have got in there.
Is there any more questions, officer, detective?
Do you agree with me?
I'm not agreeing because who would do that to a child?
That's a
There's no possible way
really
any of
messed
that
up
could have
person. Really messed up person would do that.
There's no possible way.
Well, got in there somehow. And the amount of fentanyl she had could have killed probably 2 horses that was in her system. Okay.
Any more questions?
No.
Am I under arrest?
No.
Can I go?
Sure.
On September 22nd, 2020, Jhenea Pratt was sentenced to 10 years in prison for involuntary manslaughter and endangering the welfare of a child.